Mr. Mark Smith, welcome back. Welcome back to King Conversations. It's good to see you. It's been a little bit over a month, but you've been extremely busy.
Yes, I have.
Extremely busy. Tell us
Yes.
what you've been up to.
Well, we've been all over the place. We've had a couple different events. We've done some recent NIL deals that we're going to talk about. One is Gorn Brothers, and then the other one is a Target deal that we just completed. So we've had a really good time doing some great NIL work, which is leading to some other opportunities that we have coming up.
So back up. You said a lot there. The
Yes.
Gorn Brothers deal. I did get my hat from
I
Gorn
know,
Brothers.
and it looks good on you,
You
too.
sent out the link, so I had to get it. I actually got a brim too. So
Right, okay.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
So that's one of the first questions that I had. How is it tracked, and how do companies know that it was activated through your organization?
So let me start back at the beginning. So the Gorn Dallas event was happening. I have a friend, a fraternity brother of ours,
Okay.
Dr. Chris Williams. He is a true supporter of Gorn Brothers, right? So he was like, hey, the game was coming up, the State Fair Classic between Grambling State and Prairie View. And we said it'd be great if we could do an activation around the game. So we thought the hat company would be great.
Right.
So fast forward to the day of, and we show up and the event is happening, right? And all of a sudden, we have the number out there and people are starting to buy hats online. And they get a call from like Gorn and they said, oh, wait a minute, we need to shut this down for a second. They thought we were just gonna make a couple sales.
Right. Okay.
Oh no. We took this to a whole nother level. This link, this email, everything about people purchasing actually made it all the way over to Germany.
Wow.
So, as you know, HBCU students are everywhere. They're in the
Right.
armed forces. They live all over the world. So they shut it down. They said, whoa, we need to rethink this. So then they got the link back up and we continue to make sales. But we actually drove their engagement by about 175%,
Wow.
which is real. And then on top of that, in those 3 hours, the store made about $4,000 in total just in the store.
Right.
The total number I think came in around $8,000 to $10,000, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But those are actual numbers. So this showed the power of utilizing student athletes and NIL and
Right.
making this happen.
That's absolutely amazing. I love the fact that y'all are so analytical and have the statistics to back the data to future sales. I mean, when you sent me the link initially, I clicked on it, and then it was like after that, I saw advertisements day after day. It's like the momentum picked up and things were just going and going. To someone on the outside, it's almost like, okay, that was a one-hit wonder, but I
Right.
know you guys have been working hard and working plan and rolling out your plan.
Yeah, so what's interesting is we did the Gorham Brothers event. However, at the same time, behind the scenes, which I could talk about, we were working on Target.
Okay.
So I1 Digital bought us a deal with Target.
Wow.
First ever HBCU working with a major brand.
Mhm.
And what it is you've probably seen the videos that have been running probably through social media for the past 3 weeks or so. We had 6 student athletes from Clark, North Carolina A&T, Alabama A&M, Morehouse, and then there was 2 more that we had. I can't think of the names now, but it'll come to me. But those students did their videos, and they were phenomenal
They
videos.
were.
They did them from start to finish, promoting the Target brands that are there, that are Black-owned brands at Target. And heck, every single one that I saw that was for me, I went to go get. Whether it was the games or the body wash, those things spoke to me. But it not only spoke to me, it spoke to our fans. It
Right.
spoke to people that follow those student athletes. It spoke to people that want to support their school.
Right.
So it was really important for us to be able to see NIL at work and the power of it.
I mean, the timing is absolutely perfect because it seems like even with First Take having the HBCU
Yes.
tour this year, HBCUs are the hot thing. It is a hot market. We've known about it forever.
Yes.
But now it seems like we're able to begin marketing to some of those major brands, which is definitely important.
Yeah, no, we drive the culture. And
Yeah.
what we're trying to do is show the power of our dollar and that our kids are really paying attention to what is supporting them. So
Right.
we made sure that when they chose the products that they wanted to represent, that they could do a good job with it.
Right.
And I got to mention his name, David Dirks, who's the COO, co-founder of the HBCU Icon Exchange. He is the man behind the scenes
Okay.
that really made this happen with those student athletes, and I can't thank him enough for all his hard work. But we learned a lot through it, and that's going to just make us better as we get more of these deals coming through for these students.
The amazing thing is all the different elements, all the different pieces. I could easily see this being an HBCU class
Yes.
or a case study, because you have the business side, you have the marketing side, you have the finance side, you have the actual deal and the structure of the deal. So this is phenomenal on so many levels in the education space.
Yeah. There are schools out there that are way ahead of the game. They have more resources and they can do this much better than even we can. But for the HBCUs, we're the people that do this for them.
Right.
We're the ones that make this happen. We're the ones that have the student athlete that we can contact and say, hey, we see how many followers you have. We think that you'd be great for this. And they have to work for this. I mean, like I said before, it's a quid pro quo, which means they have to do something in order to receive something. So none of this is handed to these kids. Those videos that you see,
Right.
those are real things that they put together, that they thought through. Their own creativity just came through. And man, it really brought tears to my eyes when I started seeing the videos happen. And I was so happy for these student athletes.
So what's the process like, and what have you done to kind of educate the parents, the students on this is what NIL can look like for you? Of course, you got people like those players at Colorado that got
Yes.
the major deals, but for your student, your athlete, this is what it looks like, this is what it means. How have you been able to educate people on that?
Well, you know what's interesting? So just because it happened, one of the students, Raven Douglas, who did the Black Memes game, I actually saw her mom commenting on her Instagram and was like, really like, thank you, this is such a great opportunity and stuff like that. And I reached out to her. I just did. I was like, hey, you got a few minutes to talk to me? And she said, of course. And when I got a chance to talk to her, she was like, I like this because this is what she does and she's good at it, but it gave her even more encouragement to keep doing what she's doing. She has her own podcast and everything. However, this is what her mom said. Her mom said, well, I know other student athletes at HBCUs or at other schools. I need to make sure that their parents know NIL is for everyone. Like I've said before, it's for everyone. You don't have to have the 50,000 followers or things like that. You just have to have those ones that are truly engaged and follow what you do.
Right, that's amazing. Like I love what the Olympic gold medalists are doing.
Yes.
Quincy out of Baltimore.
Yes.
I can't call all of their names, but just to see them happy and excited, and I don't even know if it's an actual tour, but to see the way they're engaging. Of course, they gained a lot of followers while they're at the Olympics winning gold medals, but that also is part of the game plan of how exciting young black athletes are and how they know how to engage the community and bring things together. So it's definitely a blessing. So we talk about branding. You guys have had a slight branding change. What was the impetus behind that, and how does it work for you?
Yeah, so if you think back, last time I was here, you said it was www.icon1901.com, okay? So, as you know, I'm a Grambling State graduate. Of course, it's synonymous with 1901.
Black and gold.
Yep, black and gold. The thing is, though, we wanted to make sure that people continue to know that the HBCU Icon Exchange was for every HBCU in the country, right? And, this is just me going in, meeting with athletic directors, having those private meetings, having those real honest conversations about, okay, we understand what the 1901 is. And, there's competition still amongst HBCUs, but there's more collaboration needed than competition.
Right.
So we said, hey, not a problem. HBCU Icon Exchange speaks to everyone. We've had that out there, and that's why we made that change. And it makes sense, too.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I appreciate it because it's a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Everybody can get to it very quickly. Right. That marketing part of it, was there a case study done, or is it just a conversation amongst the founders?
Yeah, it was amongst the founders, and it was just getting some honest feedback from, like I said, other athletic directors that are out there, other people that we trust, right? I mean, there are people out there that can say, hey, we just want you guys to consider this or think about this because they understand how it's going to come back to their alumni group, right?
Right.
Or questions their alumni group might have. So in doing that, when you're a small business and you're trying to make a name for yourself and you want to be inclusive, you want to make sure that people understand that you're listening to them and what they say, right?
Right.
So it can only open up more doors for us.
Mm-hmm. So as the momentum is building and building and building and building, how are you able to keep up with it? Like, I'm sure you guys got plans for spring sports, winter sports, spring sports. How
We
are you
do.
able to keep up with it?
It's tough at times. I mean, I run pretty fast. I run pretty hard. My other co-founders, they have their ways of how they want things done, and we all work together, right? But you can't stop the business that is presented in front of you, right? So we have a number of opportunities now that are coming our way, and believe it or not, there are people out there that are working on our behalf to bring more brand deals to us, right?
Okay.
Because they know that we can execute on it. They've seen our proof of concept. They see the work that is done. They see that we meet our deadlines and that our students really produce good content and that it works. So those things right there, it can be challenging at times, but that's why you get up every day. You
Right.
get up every day to make things happen, and we cannot just sit back and wait for these things to come to us. We have to go get them. So, I'm a guy like this. No doesn't mean no, it means next opportunity. So
Right.
for me to tell somebody no, it's hard for me because I'm always thinking about the next opportunity or how I make this happen to continue to move us forward.
So when you think about your portfolio of brands that people sponsor, like you have Target, which is obviously national.
Mm-hmm.
Gorin Brothers, they have a local store, but they're becoming a national
Yep.
brand as well. Is there a certain mix that you want to be able to present to the athletes of local and national? Is there a balance, or is just right? Like how do you determine what your focus is? Because it's easy to say, okay, we got Target, now we can go for all the national brands, but sometimes it's more effective to the local entrepreneurs and communities when you have
Right.
a local pizza shop or sandwich shop.
It is, and you can do a deal right there, and I'll tell you an example. So, one of my son's teammates at Xavier, he went into an Anytime Fitness. It's just
Okay.
a local Anytime Fitness, and then he reached out to the owner of the Anytime, the local Anytime Fitness, said, "Hey, I'd like to do some footage for you, promote some content and stuff. Can I do it in the form of an NIL deal?"
Right.
So naturally, he called me. Jaden was like, "Hey, my teammate, he needs some help on it." I was like, "No problem, Jaden." So he called me, and I was like, "Hey, these are the questions you should ask. This is what you should prepare for." And you know what? He actually is doing a great job for it. I've been seeing the content. I'm giving him feedback. I mean, and that's on a local level.
Right.
So when you start thinking regional and national, there are going to be those opportunities. Right now, we have some opportunities with a quick serve restaurant that we're working with, and a company that makes slides.
Okay.
But the difference between slides is it's not your Crocs; it's a recovery slide,
Okay.
and it's a female shoe owner that has developed this, and
Okay.
we're testing it out and things like that. So that could be a national thing. You
Right.
started off small with a couple kids or a couple coaches, then you build it up. And that's where we're going to be going to next is targeting these businesses that don't have the marketing dollars, so to speak, the big marketing dollars or the marketing arm, and making sure that they know that we can drive product sales and they can gain a customer from it as well.
One of the things I love about what you said is actually teaching students how to act on their behalf and speak up and say, hey, I'm already doing this content in your location. Now let's convert this into a deal. Like training someone to be an entrepreneur and to look out for themselves is absolutely invaluable.
Well, Chris, I'll just stop right there and kind of change gears. We're sitting here in your studio doing a podcast. This is our second one. I flew to Kansas City specifically to do this with you because I felt that strongly about it. But you manifested all this, right? And what we've been doing is we've just been saying we're going to do it. And
Right.
when you think about it and you study it and you say this can happen and you don't let anything deter you from it, it can. Right? And I struggled with that. I had to get past that. I had to understand that, don't be afraid to fail
Right.
and don't be afraid to try. Right? And once I started really putting that into action, things have just been happening. I
Right.
mean, I'll say things and I'm like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it happens. And I'm sure you've done the same thing. That's why we're here right now.
Right. No, you're absolutely 100% correct. Sharing your dreams, sharing your goals is valuable because, you know, it might seem like we have a deep relationship, but reality is every time we talk to each other, it's the longest we've known each other.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is the beginning, but we're holding each other accountable in that you flew in like, Chris, you do this, okay, let's do it.
Yes.
And so now we're here. So
Yep.
I appreciate that, and it's the iron sharpen iron mentality, but also the ability and the willingness to share and not say, oh, I got this thing over here, I can only do this. No, if you're here, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I see you also giving that energy to the student athletes as well. Like your son called about his friend, and it's sharing the knowledge. It's not, okay, we got to be in on this. No, go do it this way, and this is how you handle it, and these are the things. Because I think that's what's ultimately going to grow it and make it to where people want to be a part of something, because that competitiveness of, oh, you did this for him, didn't do it for me, doesn't exist. It's pure and it's beautiful.
Yeah, you just touched on something. I mean, that was a lesson that I was able to teach Jaden, right?
Mm-hmm.
He stopped whatever he was doing and was like, hey, I got a teammate of mine that wants to do this. I know my dad knows about this.
Right.
Let me connect them, right? He didn't have to do that, but I'm trying to teach him too, of when you see an opportunity to help someone, make sure you take that opportunity.
Right. No, that is absolutely amazing. So is there a goal now for how many athletes or how many schools? Like, how are you going about conquering this over the remainder of the school year?
Man, I got this crazy number, and I probably shouldn't use crazy, but I got a crazy number of 7,000 students.
Wow.
To be on our platform, that we can work with, that we can engage, that we can go out there and show companies the power of the HBCU icon and what it can do for your business, what it can do for the community, what it can do for everyone, and really to take this to a whole nother level. So that's where, I'm thinking that's where this is going to go.
Right.
It's not that I'm thinking it's going to go there. And right now we're starting to see more and more student athletes just come on our platform, sign up and be a part of this, right? We're working on a brand deal right now. We actually had an artist that does t-shirts reach out to us, and his stuff is phenomenal, right? And he saw the opportunity of setting up the students with their own brand, their own site and everything, and he wants to do the graphics. I mean, this stuff is going to be like unbelievable. I saw some of it last night. So that's something that no matter what, if I don't have the target deal that everybody can participate in and is sitting there, they're still going to be able to do this. And that's still going to teach them something, because they're going to have to market themselves, create their own brand, talk about their own brand, and really make that happen. And they can make money from that. I mean, there's real opportunities there.
That's absolutely amazing. I mean, there's just so many opportunities. I would encourage you to think about internships for the summer for some students. In all of the different disciplines that are incorporated and engaged. But also, too, I know we talk a lot about student athletes, but on an HBCU campus, like Morehouse's mute court team is amazing. I don't even know what moot court is, but it's law and debating.
Yes.
But those students also have a level of energy and influence and products that surround that type of branding that are amazing. So, like, when you look at an HBCU, you have the athletes, but of course we got the politicians, of course we got the preachers, of course we have, every discipline. I could easily see getting to that 7,000 number by spilling over into, we have a ton of doctors.
Yes.
You have Xavier University that produces doctors. You have Meharry Medical. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, whether it's the comfortable shoes, the scrubs that they wear, the water bottles. So there's products built around every discipline where the NIL, I think, could stretch beyond your just athletes.
Yes.
Because it's just name, image, and likeness. It doesn't say name, image, likeness in basketball or football. This ball doesn't have to be included. But, there are students that are very active in their disciplines and that carry a lot of weight. So I could see this really being an amazing opportunity.
Well, they're going to become a professional in something else other than that sport, right? But they're always going to be attached to that sport forever. So that's where the alumni come in at. And everybody wants a winning team. You want a winning team at your university. I want one at my university. And, I was having this conversation today about HBCUs sometimes are still in the only the academic space.
Right.
True. But do you think Alabama or Tennessee is just focused on the academic? No, they're focused on winning.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what grows the kids going there.
Mhm.
Winning, right? Everybody wants to be associated with that. So we kind of got to move the needle a little bit more towards, okay, let's balance this academic out with some athletics.
Right.
And let's go after the best athletes and give them the best opportunities and make sure they have NIL deals so that they can participate in that. And they will come.
Right. No, you are absolutely 100% right. Do you see this trickling down to? I mean, because you have even high school students. Is it going that? Will you go that deep, or is that not the focus right now? I mean, there's a ton to conquer.
Yeah. So where I think it goes to the high school level, and what I want to do there is, I'm in the process of writing like a pamphlet, or a playbook, 15 steps that students that attend the HBCU, let's just keep it HBCU related, but it can be
Right.
universal for everyone, should know about NIL and things that they should be doing. So that's going to be really for the parent and the high school student. And if they follow that, that's going to kind of prepare them for this when they get to school. Because some of this is, you won't be at the schools where you have someone doing every little thing for you.
Right.
Some of these things you're going to do for yourself. Like you're going to have to be associated with an HBCU Icon Exchange and say, hey, do you have any deals for me? Or how can I grow my following? How can I do this? You're going to have some students that are going to have to kind of push themselves
Right.
rather than it be a pull and people just pulling them in. You're going to have to kind of push yourself out there to really be involved in this.
So we talked a little bit about this the last time about the young lady from Stanford that transferred to the
Yeah.
Texas school,
Mhm.
softball school. Do you see HBCU Icon Exchange beginning to get involved in the college recruitment process? Meaning, Southern University, we have a great relationship with HBCU Icon Exchange, and by you coming here, we know that you'll be able to get some NIL deals, because that seems to be
Mhm.
somewhat of a driver in,
Right.
in the decision process.
Well, I tell you what, I think as we become better with, getting the brand deals or creating even the opportunities where they can create their own brand
Right.
and knowing that they can participate, I think that's going to help with the recruiting process. Let's just face it, we can't give out the Lamborghinis like
Right,
University
right,
of
right.
Texas did. That's just not going to happen. What we can do is make sure that they understand the business side of it and take that business side knowledge and be able to use it after they get out of school and for those 4 years while they're in school.
Right.
You never know what they're going to develop in school while they're there.
Right.
And I said this to the young man that was doing his own thing. I said, while you're in school, those 4 years, while you don't have a 9 to 5, a family, this, that, and the other, you got time, be working on this. This
Right.
is the time to work on it. You got 4 years to develop this skill set here. Take full advantage of that.
Right. Okay. That's absolutely excellent. Absolutely. When you go back and you analyze, and you probably haven't had a chance to sit down and see how fast this last couple months went.
Right.
But what would you say are some of the? Can you highlight some of the major successes? I know you talked about
Yeah.
Target, Gorham Brothers, but there's a lot of small businesses that are in there that have been directly impacted as well.
Yeah. So this goes back to one of the first businesses that actually stepped up that we did work with. It's called Puff Cuff, right?
Okay.
And it's a small black-owned business. It's a hair product. It's a fabulous product. It's one that if you want to put your hair up in a bun or tie it up, you can do it. The little twisties that you used to use would pull out your hair. That's for males and females.
That's what happened to you?
No, that's not what happened to me. This is just years of hard work. So we want to make sure we promote those type products there and continue to bring it up and make sure that people know that it's out there. We need to continue to support it. And now more than ever, I mean, there's no reason for anyone to struggle when they have a really good product that is out there and that actually helps in the community. But really, we've just been focused on our ground game of talking to more students, getting them on the platform, create more brand deals like I talked to you about, and being ready for the really big deals and being prepared. And David Dirks and Marvin Nichols have done a phenomenal job of just how we operate.
Okay.
you know, the operating systems. A lot of people don't know operating systems in a business is pretty important. You got
yeah, it's
one
very
because you
critical.
have your
Yeah.
own business as well. You know, you may not have it written down, but you can tell how your business is supposed to run
Right.
and you know how that should work. So that's what we've been really focused at is on how we operate. And I think now we're in a position now to where if a Walmart or a McDonald's or a Pepsi comes to us, we're ready to spring into action just like that.
Right. So I would say a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yep.
What do you guys need from the community, from the business community, the buying community, the student community, the colleges? What are a list of the things that you need from all the entities that you touch?
Yeah, so I really think it's just participation and feedback.
Okay.
Tell us what you think about what we're doing. Give me that feedback, whether it's good, bad, if you think we should be doing something different, if you think our focus should be different. I want to know those things. And then I want to be respectful to say, I hear you. And if there's some really good things there that we can implement, then we'll do that.
Right.
The community, just in general, and we're talking about the alumni community, the student body community, having them just understand supporting that student athlete supports them somehow, some way. There's some money being generated there that should trickle down to even just the everyday student that's on that campus. If nothing else, everybody wants to be associated with a winner. So you want your team to win. Those are bragging rights. That's
Right.
important stuff that we take very serious in our schools, and we want to make sure we continue that. And then just, you know, understanding that these are real things, real opportunities that could impact somebody's life, putting food on the table, creating a job opportunity, or just helping them in a different situation that they didn't even know they needed help. So I think growing the network, and I think I talked about that last time, growing the network and being a part of a community is really, really important.
Have you got any pushback from any of the colleges, like at the administration level? Is that something easy to navigate, or you figuring it out?
I'm figuring it out. Here's the thing. I think, and I'm just speaking for kind of HBCUs in general,
Right.
and it's some of the other schools too that are not HBCUs. There's a fear factor around NIL, right?
Okay.
You see the big boys do it, but they also got big lawyers too, right? And nobody wants to get in trouble. Nobody wants to get any on suspension or anything like that, or do anything that's going to land in the news in a negative way. However, there's really nothing to be fearful about with NIL. There isn't.
Okay.
Follow the rules, ask the questions. If you're not sure, if you think it's going to land you in trouble, okay, then we probably won't do it, right?
Right.
But other than that, there's no reason to fear it. We can't have this boogeyman about NIL that keeps us from taking opportunities, talking to companies, asking companies for their support, and making sure that our student athletes fully are able to participate because they're educated on the process.
Right. Oh, this is, man, it's you're on the frontier. You're at the beginning of it, which is beautiful. It's almost as if the internet just came out.
I know. 3 years in the making, and here we are talking about it like it's brand new, but it still is relatively brand new. It's shaping every single day. Something happens, something changes, and you know we're still at the forefront of this.
Right. I mean, it's. I mean, at the mega level, you have college students that have houses and cars.
Yes.
It's gonna be interesting to just see the long term. Like you look at Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Do he get $60 million a year?
Yes.
And I'm not wishing bad on him, but
No.
now he's hurt.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get that kind of money and still have that type of urgency about a physical sport.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if his workout changed or whatever, but that's kind of. I also think about Larry Johnson that was running back in Kansas City. They gave him 20-something million.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make you want to run full speed into a brick wall
Mm-hmm.
now that you have this cushion lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out long term in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Of, you know, do the athletes get softer? Do they need more care? Or,
Right.
you know, do you still have that? How does the game change?
Well, I'll say this about NIL and the HBCU Icon Exchange. The $1 million deals, $2 million deals would be great to have. But I said our focus is what? To lessen the burden.
Yeah.
So if that student's paying that $20,000 if they can do some NIL deals and it gets really good for them and it takes it down to 15 or 10, that is a huge win.
Right.
So that's kind of how we have to think about it, because I believe in NIL for everyone. That means we try and expand the money as far as possible for everyone, or at least give everybody an opportunity.
I mean, it's bound to happen though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's
I
bound
mean,
to
it's,
happen.
it's bound to happen where
Somebody's going to figure it out.
well, no, just you're gonna get somebody that just takes off like a rocket.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're planting the seeds around.
Mhm.
You figure HBCU Icon Exchange is planting the seeds
Right.
around every HBCU for an athlete to do something great on their own.
That's true.
And it's going. I mean, it's bound to take off to where they go extremely viral.
Yes.
There's gonna be a business that they do exceptional numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to be fun to watch because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to come together, and they're just going to start to take off like rockets because they've been nurtured and they understand the game. It's like everything else. Once we learn the rules, you know, we're gonna.
Man, I did not think about
once
that.
we learn the rules, it's gonna take off. So, I mean, maybe you didn't think about it, but I'm planting that for you to get excited about
Thank you.
because once we learn the rules of the game, it's over.
Yes.
And you're teaching the rules of the game to small businesses, to students.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, the young generation, they have the power, they have the energy, they
All of
understand
it.
the technology, they understand the latest nuances. So when you take somebody that already has a personality and a following, then you give them that
Yes.
technical background of this is how the
Then you
game
give
is
them the
played.
business side
The
of it.
business side, it's over.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't think
so
about that.
That's exciting. I mean, you're gonna have some student athletes that run away with this in ways you couldn't even imagine.
You know what? You're right. There's probably that sophomore in high school right now that's going to think about how am I going to be prepared for this when I hit that campus as a freshman. I'm going to do this for the next 4 years, and I already got my plan, and I got my boy who's got his plan, or this young lady that's got her plan. That can happen. I mean, and you don't know unless you go for it. You don't know unless you go for it.
I mean, even we were talking earlier. You were saying the level of quality of the students recording the videos
Mhm.
and how quickly they're able to turn around because this is what they do.
Yes.
This is what they do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we, give them a ring light, maybe not even a ring light.
Right.
They know how to find the best lighting in their environment, and they run with it. So just empowering them in that way is something that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I look at what your sons have done with YouTube and how they've grown their following and how they're sticking with it and how you have to be consistent, right? I think that's the most important thing, right? Sometimes I'm not as consistent, but I try to be. But that's why I'm here.
Right.
I'm back again, and even though it's a month or two later, I'm showing I'm consistent. This just happens to be my timing
Right.
of coming back, but I'm consistent, right? I was like, no, I'm not just gonna do it one time with Chris. I'm gonna do it again, and then I'll probably be back again after we do some more great stuff. And that's being consistent. I think that's what everybody needs to follow in all of this.
You're 100% right. I mean, even me, like consistency. Consistency is a big thing for
Right.
me. Consistent. I mean, and people like it, people love it, people want to hear it. But how do you fit this new thing into your schedule?
Right. You know what's interesting is I know I shared this with you. I had someone that sees our videos, right? You know, I try and post every single day.
Right.
I've kind of figured this out. I think when I left here, I was saying I was going to post for 90 straight days. So I post, and you never know. And people are starting to interact with the videos and stuff. But somebody who I didn't even know reached out to me on Instagram and was like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about a show opportunity. I was like, a show opportunity? It's like, yeah, I've been watching your content, and it's really good. And, you know, we need more people like yourself that's talking about this, helping the people out, educating. You have a good story. And I was like, okay.
Right.
I was like, but it came from me coming here, you saying, hey, let's do a podcast, and actually being bold enough to put that out there.
Right.
So, you know, salute to you on making this happen, making it happen again. But not only that, there are other people that are paying attention. They're paying attention to what you're doing. They're paying attention to what I'm doing. So we may think people aren't watching, or only 2 people are liking our video or seeing it. So what?
Right.
Keep going, right?
I definitely received that and encourage you to do the same because it, like when I think about the longevity. Who knows what'll happen to YouTube? Hopefully it'll last forever.
Yep.
But the fact that your great grandkids will be able to log on and say, "Wow,
Yes.
my great grandfather that I never met planted these seeds, and
Yep.
this is the vein that he was living in." To have that something tangible, like we have, I have one or two black and white pictures of my
Right,
grandfather, so
right.
I stare at him and just imagine what type of man he was.
Right.
Put piece together the stories that you hear about everything, but to be able to actually see
Mm-hmm.
your ancestors
Wow. And your work.
and your work is a powerful thing. I mean,
Mhm.
again, going back to the internet analogy, NIL deals are new.
Yes.
50 years from now, to learn that your great great grandfather was
Right.
instrumental in getting this thing in our community
Right.
is an amazing thing. So, the content, while it's a struggle, it's a challenge, to be able to go back and play those videos and see, as the kids say, what type of time you were on
Yes.
is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
And you know what really inspired me was last time I was here and talking to your son and seeing his YouTube channel and seeing your other son who's at Morehouse, his YouTube channel. I was like, why am I not doing that? I said, they figured this out. I said, the kids are teaching us now. So
Oh, yeah,
I
most
said,
definitely.
I have to learn to do this also. So I found a program that I use that posts the videos for me where I can actually continue to put this content out there, right? And it's teaching me a different skill set. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. Anybody that knows me will tell you that. But it's teaching me a different skill set that now I really need to develop. I mean,
we
know,
we have to stay on the cutting edge because it's changing so rapidly. Not only am I wearing glasses in order to see my phone, but
Right.
realizing that your phone can do so many things that you don't even. There's so many capabilities we probably only use
Yep.
5-10%.
I'll quote my guy Childish Gambino, and This Is America. He said, "This is a celly." He said, "No, this is a tool."
Yeah.
And that's how we have to think about the
Yeah.
phone. It's a tool, and people are actually shooting whole movies on their iPhone,
On the phone, yeah.
and making it come to life and using their creativity. And that's why the world is such a great place to live in right now, because your creativity can be whatever you want it to be. The only thing we have to get out of is our own way. That's
Right.
the only thing we have to get out of.
Got to stay motivated and keep going.
That's it.
Keep going. Well, it's almost switching gears a little bit. It's
Yeah.
almost baseball season. How's the baseball business going? The off season, preseason
Man.
training. Are you able to keep up with that? Or
Baseball business is booming.
Wow.
The lab in Canton, Michigan, is on full tilt right now.
Okay.
4 trainers in there, 5 days a week training kids. I've been
It's that
inundated.
busy time.
Inundated with seems like 7 and 8 year olds.
Okay.
But you know what? I work with all the young kids, and somebody has to teach them, right?
Right.
With baseball, if that foundation is not built with that swing, they're gonna become pitchers real
quick.
Okay,
You're right.
or they're not gonna play the game.
Yeah.
So I've had some parents reach out to me. The kids were a little afraid of the ball. Yeah, I'm gonna bring them in there, and I'm gonna
Right.
hit them with the ball,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna show them they survived,
They didn't die.
and then we're gonna keep going, right?
That's what
But
you gotta do.
the baseball business has really taken off. Our softball business has really exploded. So I couldn't be happier with that. What it has done for me this year is I've had to plan a lot better. Like,
Okay.
taking my videos of the kids and making sure that I'm, saying, okay, we're going to fix this, this, and this in your swing. And
Right.
I'm always a detailed person when it comes to the swing because I feel it's very important. But man, now just taking it to a whole nother level. And baseball is just a tough sport. I mean,
is.
it just
It's very
is.
tough.
I don't know anybody that can say it's easy. Sometimes I'll be like, oh man, how did I start dating in this sport? I mean, you probably done it with your own
No,
kid.
you question yourself like, man, what did I get them into?
Right.
What did I get them into?
Right.
But it's amazing. I say at the 7-8-year-old age, the most important thing is to teach them to love the game. And once
Yes.
they love it, and they don't even know they loving the game, but let's say love the environment, love the results, love what they're doing, it comes a lot more naturally.
Yeah,
And
I got a 8-year-old that comes in there. His name is Joseph. The kid is phenomenal, man. But if you could have saw his swing when he first started
Right.
to now, I mean, it's like night and day, man. The kid just comes in there and just tears the place down.
Right.
But it was hard work. It was his mom understanding that this is what it was going to take
Right.
for him to really love the game and be good at the game and have fun in the game. So salute to the parents, that see this and say, okay, I need to invest in my kid and make sure that they're getting the right training and tutelage in this to be successful.
Good deal. Good deal. That's absolutely. I think we're getting good at this, man.
Yeah.
I think we ran through kind of everything.
Yeah.
You got some closing remarks or some things you want to wrap up? Some 2025.
Yeah. 2025 is just going to be a year where you just see us continue to go to new heights.
Right.
It just is. I mean, we're not going to stop. This NIL train is not going to shut down. It's going to continue to expand on a whole nother level. We're going to make sure that we continue to bring more kids into the fold. We're going to continue to grow the parent population on getting their support. And we're going to go out there and actually talk to some brands and say, this is what we can do. And we're already consumers, but do you want more?
Right. Okay.
And how do you make sure that you're giving back in a different way, right? We all got to take care of each other. I mean, in this day and time, I think no matter what race, no matter what background, are you your brother's keeper? Right. And we got to continue to promote that. Yes, I am our brother's keeper. And
that's real.
I need your kids to eat just like I need my kids to eat. Like I said before, collaboration happens at the top, competition at the bottom. We should all be about collaboration and how we can help each other.
If there's one thing that we should have learned in 2024 is that we are not each other's competition.
No, we are not.
We have got to work together.
Yeah.
And be on the same page,
mm-hmm.
or be willing to move in the same direction.
Right.
Because 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, they will be interesting.
It will be.
We got to work together.
But I'll tell you this, we can only control what we can control, right? And we got to teach our kids to be confident, to control what they can control, and still be good people, right? That's the main thing. Be good people. Wake up with gratitude every day, and be thankful for the things that you have, and make sure that you understand that this didn't have to happen for you. This was intentional, right?
Yeah.
And you can manifest these things. You can manifest good thoughts. You can be a powerful person, even if you just think this is all you control. Control that and be powerful with it. You never know who's watching and who you're going to inspire to get up that day and to do more.
You're absolutely right. In conclusion, I just want to say I can't wait for the seeds that you have planted to flourish, because they will flourish and bloom in ways beyond you. None of you could have imagined. The entire founder circle. But it is going to be great. I appreciate you coming in and stopping by when you're in town.
Oh, man. I made a special trip just for this, because it's worth it, Chris. To come here, to see what you've built, to be in your presence, to talk to a Morehouse man, and to have this go out there for all to see is powerful. So I thank you for that.
I greatly appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate it.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.